All right, friends and foes, I just got back from the Chattahoochee BDR-X late last night, and before I end up putting everything away, I just kind of wanted to go through my gear, camping gear, and what I used on the trail, how it ended up working for me. First and foremost, let me start with the ride and the route were amazing. I went through 5 days after a torrential downpour. Might have saw on the news, it flooded quite a bit of Kentucky, came over, so the Georgia mud was a little bit special and fun. Most of the water crossings were really high. It was a good time, but let's jump into it. So here's what I got. I'm gonna go through my camping gear first and then go on from there. I'll leave some chapters below so you can choose what works for you. Camping gear first. The tent that I use, you'll see in my videos, is the Big Agnes Tiger Wall 3 UL. Fantastic little tent. Other than not being as wide, it is like about half of a slice of a soccer ball when it is compact, and that thing is a huge palace of wonderfulness. See if I can pop a photo in here. It's a 3-person backpacking tent. What that means is I can lay out all my motorcycle junk inside, have a little bit of free space, and then my sleeping pad. So this little thing here can easily sleep 2 people plus. When I'm solo on the bike, it is fantastic. I think it is about a little over 2 pounds. Carrying weights, I know these weird things because I backpack with it as well, and has the trekking poles with it as well. So that thing is fantastic. Let me throw that aside. I have slept on and tested many different air mattresses. I do have some back issues, so it is something that I look into a lot. The Nemo Tensor insulated sleeping pad. Again, most of my gear is lightweight and compact because I do a lot of backpacking with it. It works wonderful on the bike and does allow me to have a little bit less gear on there. But as you can see, my fist and kind of comparison there, about the size of a Gatorade bottle, extremely comfortable. I think this is 3.5-inch loft, I want to say. You can fact check me on that. The R value is right around 4.2. That just means R value is warmth or what it provides from the ground to yourself. You won't have any issues with that. I have slept on this mat and a hiking trail at about 6 degrees below zero. Not by choice, just by circumstances. And with my sleeping bag is perfectly fine. There's a lot of them out there. Gear is subjective and different for everybody, so there's a lot of stuff out there that works. Everything I'm going to show you today is heavily tested. I do a lot of backpacking, adventure biking, kayak camping, a little bit of everything. So everything I will recommend works for me. Your mileage may vary. Heavily tested in the tent. I've spent over 400 nights in it. I've gone through a handful of these, so I'm going to say roughly about 100 to 125 nights in this very model, and this is my winner. That's the one I stick with. So the Nemo Tensor insulated pad. My favorite piece of gear, I say in every video if I talk about it, unfortunately I don't have here with me. I have already put it away, is my hammock gear Quilt 20 degree. So it's a little smaller than this. I would say about 2/3 the size of this. Very, very small, packs down into, but I would say something like that. Sorry for the reference point. It is just, I don't know, I can't say enough nice things about it. That same quilt, which is a 20 degree quilt, I've had down to 6 below zero and been comfortable. No shivering, no nothing. Quilts and such, they get different rating systems. They're trying to unify some of that, but most of them have, what is it called? A survival rating system. So if it says 20 degrees, you will survive at 20 degrees. Sounds kind of fun, right? Hammock gear and a lot of the more high-end manufacturers have comfort level. So you're extremely comfortable at 20, and I have survived at -6 somewhat comfortably. So Just some ideas with sleeping gear. Just test it out. Get out in the cold weather, try it in your backyard. Yes, be that little weird neighbor that puts his tent out in cold weather streaks and rainy streaks and tries your gear out. There's a million different models that work fine. It's called a cottage company, but hammock gear and these type of companies are just fantastic. If you can get into a hammock gear quilts, you'll absolutely love it. I treat it kind of like my favorite kid. So the minute I get back, I go ahead and put it away. And that's why I don't have it with me. The insulation, as far as for myself that I carry, I never use it when I'm riding, but at night camping, just a puffy jacket. I go out in the wilderness a lot, so I always say never, unless it's gonna be like 80 degrees. Don't go out without some type of puffy jacket for the mountains. I bring this even when I never have to use it. This particular one is the Mountain Hardware Ghost Whisperer Dose. Ghost Whisperer 2. There are a million nice puffies out there. You know, pick one that works for you. This will get down when it is in my bag to like a small Gatorade bottle. And it gets really geeky, but this has 1,000 fill goose tech down in it. Don't worry if you don't understand that. When you get into this stuff, it gets super geeky. But that little jacket, again, is gonna keep you warm throughout. Don't worry about the puffy, just make sure it's a nice model. It's gonna work nice for you. The smaller, the better, so you have less gear, less weight. But puffies are puffy. Bring a jacket, be secure, be safe, and make sure you can always take care of yourself. I'll show you my mid layer here. Magic. This beautiful item, and yes, my bike is crazy dirty. I arm wrestled with a couple very special mud pits that were kind of like sinkholes, more than likely. I've already washed it, and this is about the best I can do, but I will, now that I'm home, get it a little cleaner. Excuse me, this is my Light Heart Gear hoodie. I do wear it on the really cold mornings of this track. My first and second day, the overnight lows were right around freezing, just above. So camps were cold. So I did wear this in the evening when I finished riding, in the morning when I started riding underneath my jacket. It's just really nice, warm gear. I always just make sure that I'm prepped for that. So this is riding, cold weather riding, ha ha ha. And also for camp if needed as well. So really, to wrap it up, have a proper base layer, just building bases, getting warmer, and a proper jacket for camp. It is not rocket science. On the other end of this, I always kind of forget that I do enough camping and adventuring that things that are very normal for me aren't always as normal for other people. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions, concerns. If you hate my gear, it's all good. It works really well for me, and I've tested the heck out of it. So love the conversation. There's always something different and or better, and there's probably something I can be doing better as well. So comment below. Next up is my camping pillow. I've got a little inside piece of information for you. So this is the Nemo Pillow, ha ha ha, good name. A lot like my sleeping pad by Nemo. That's my liquid death can. It is shorter, just a little bit wider. Packs down really nice and small. This thing is the most comfortable camping pillow you will find. Try them all, buy them all, test them out. I've been close. I have this for my adventure camping, and when I backpack, I have what's called the Nemo Pillow Elite. It's a smaller version. As crazy as it sounds, every ounce counts when you do long distance backpacking. This blows up, so it's got a nice soft touch to it, little airbag in there. Blow it up, and it is ridiculously comfortable. If you've been struggling with quality sleep or anything, this will change your game. If you look into people that do a lot of camping, long distance backpacking, people that spend a year on a bike, this bad boy, little insider trading right there. Highly recommend it. If you give it a try at like Amazon, something like that. I'll leave links for all this stuff below, but especially that. Amazon, give it a try, see it. You got 30 days to return it. You will never send that thing back. You might start using it in the house. I'm just saying, that thing is amazing. All right, this is my replacement clothes or extra spare clothes bag. I don't get too crazy. My riding pants and jackets are getting most of the mud, the muck, the craziness. So what I carry here is one replacement shirt, one replacement pair of shorts. I used to carry one sock per day. Sock your choice. Highly recommend don't do cotton. Do some type of merino wool quality sock that dries really fast. Farm to Feet's, Darn Tough. There's a lot of them out there. Those are the two I use. All of mine pretty much are Darn Tough. I have some Farm to Feet as well. But merino wool, and stay away from cotton so it dries real fast. It's much more comfortable. Again, I'll skip the geeky stuff, but I mean, look how small that bag is. The major difference now is I don't bring as many pair of socks. If you happen to have seen my Mid-Atlantic BDR, and heck for that, my Georgia Traverse videos, we went on, especially the Georgia Traverse, we just had it planned out. So we had to go as our schedule fit, which was in just constant rain. Just all the water crossings were extremely high. Every night my feet were getting sore, even with quick dry socks. So on this trip here for the first time, I tried out a waterproof sock. I think a few people that I talk to online a lot and communicate with have looked at these. I might be wrong, but I think One Man Riding, and it might be Dork on the Road. I don't quite remember, but multiple people have reviewed these. These are the Randy Sun waterproof socks, and it kind of changed everything. When you see the videos of my Chattahoochee BDR-X, the very first water crossing I had was extremely deep and my feet got wet. I was immediately disappointed, ironically. But moving forward, every other water crossing I went through, including just sinkholing this thing in a mud pit, and it came up to my thighs, so the mud was higher than my seats. Make good decisions out there, people. They've stayed dried since, so I don't quite know that, but I went from hoping they'd be good to immediately not liking them to, in the same trip, loving them. So waterproof socks, and other than that, you don't have to bring much clothing with you. Everybody's gonna pack their fears when you're camping. That's kind of the gig. You might bring too much food, too much clothing. It's normal, packing your fears. If you can go out and get a couple rides underneath your belt, you'll kind of see what you use and what you don't use, and you can edit from there. But in most cases, you don't need to overpack clothing. Some replacement socks, one shirt, one short, and you're good. Your bag doesn't, need to be huge, depending on, where you're going. But the main thing is, like your Puffy, your mid layers, keep them dry, keep them waterproof bags, safety first. With camping stoves and anything like this, again, it is so subjective. There are a million of them out there. For the most part, if it's a quality model, it is going to work fine. I have always, because of their reliability and how well they use and simmer, used Jetboil. This is, called the Jetboil Stash. Pretty small unit. Gas, the actual system, the stove and everything is inside, and it collapses on itself. So that's my entire cooking system right there. I have used a little bit larger. Most of my backpacking is with my wife, so I've used what's called the Jetboil Mini Mo, and they have the flash. I've got roughly 12 or 1,500 miles of adventures under this one. My Mini Mo also made my Jetboil. I have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles worth of adventures on. There's a lot of good ones out there. As long as it works for you and it's small and compact, it's perfectly fine. Jetboil is a great company. There are many out there. This is my coffee cup, a little bit of everything cup. It's the Tokes. Mine is the 450 milliliter for the reason that mostly it is a coffee, maybe spirits or beer cup. Any of the eating is traditionally right out of my Jetboil. Tokes makes great stuff, but again, there's multiple models out there. You can just see kind of the size of it. For me, as you've probably seen in my videos, coffee is a staple. Never skip coffee in the evening or in the morning. So there you go. Moving on with camping gear. This is again something where there are a ton of them out there and a lot of decent models. This is my headlamp. It is the Nikkor NU25. Some of these features you really don't need on a motorcycle. It is crazy lightweight. I think it's less than 1.5 ounces. It is ridiculously bright. I want to say 300 lumens. It has been a while. You will not need anything. It'll light up an entire forest for you. Highly, highly recommend it. And they're inexpensive. Take a look at the Nikkor NU25 with adventurers, long distance backpackers. Like, everybody kind of geeks out about this thing. I don't want to be wrong, but I think they're less than $30. It's a rechargeable battery, so you don't have to bring batteries with you. The entire MA BDR, the drive to it, the BDR, and the drive back for me, which was about 2,400 miles, because that's a lot of driving to and from. Doesn't need a charge. This will last multiple trips for you. And it does not matter how many cities or how much water I will be around. I always go out into the backcountry with a water filter. You can always, depending where you are, if you're on flat ground or not, different filters are needed for different situations. This is the Catadine B Free. It is an opened cell water filter. There's the bag for it. The flow rate is crazy. I could squeeze it from here and knock over that camera. Sawyer makes great ones. There's a lot of great ones out there. If you're in if you're in flat ground, so your water is horribly muddy, you don't go up any mountains, there are different models for that as well. But I've brought this everywhere. It works perfect. It would be ridiculous for me to say how many backpacking and adventure miles I've had on this, but I highly recommend. Just for safety, a lot of my stuff is so small, you're not even going to barely notice it's with you, and it's a safety factor. Just bring as smaller than a can of soda, pop in Minnesota. And if you need to get water out of any type of river or stream just to make sure it's safe, highly recommend that. Let's see if we got anything else for camping. Okay, last few pieces of camping gear and we'll move on. This is just what I keep: medicines, vitamin I, ibuprofen as we call it in the backpacking world. Kind of a little portable Dob kit, soft packs, so it only packs, whatever is in it. Can pack down. It's by Jason at Walhalla Hammocks. Check out their website. He makes amazing little camping gears, hammocks, everything like that. Walhalla Hammocks out of Walhalla, South Carolina. Fantastic. And tried and true. There's a million ways to do this. This is simply my food bag. This is made by Z-Packs. I've had it since 2016 and beat the living heck out of it. Dyneema, whatever you want to call the material. It's pretty fantastic. Very lightweight. Again, most of my stuff dubs as backpacking. So there's a ton of ways to do your food bag as well. You can do about any of them, to be honest. The last thing here that I will mention, these guys, and you'll see it in my BDR-X videos, the Trust Fire. This is the Mini 3X, I think. Let me take a look. Mini 3X-SE. This crazy SOB, literally, I'll put in some of the photos here if I can find them. You have a pointer, a red light, pointer, blue light, and white light, and it's a little bit bigger than like a Bic lighter, and it is crazy bright. I do carry this on my backpacking as well now. So Trustfire, I'll leave a link below. Check it out if you're just looking for an easy, simple USB rechargeable flashlight that kind of kicks butt. Highly recommend this. Very small, ridiculously bright. Found a lot of fun things to do with the red light pointer. Nothing too productive yet, but it's a lot of fun. I do want to say thanks to them because they did send me this to go adventuring with, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fell in love. It's all about what John likes. Very small, very usable, and really bright. So that's kind of a home run right there. Trustfire Mini 3X. All right, so that should probably cover the official camping side of it. And let's move on. Okay, moving on up. Okay, so that's mostly the personal items, the camping gear that I carry. The rest is kind of stuff for the bike, what I pack, and we'll go over that here a little bit. I know these get a little long. You can do a little song and dance. My dance might not be too bad, but my song is, as you probably just heard, is gonna be horrific. So last thing that's kind of both camping and both riding, I carry a bathroom kit because you just can't be too safe out there. That has a small trowel for digging that cat hole. It's called the Deuce of Spades. If you're in the trowel industry, not industry, but looking for one, check out the Deuce of Spades. Crazy light, extremely effective. Some toilet paper and some dude wipes. Not sponsored, just a good product. And then I have my goodies. Some of this, luckily, I've never had to use, and some I can do a little better at it. So this is my EAFC tire pressure pump. It is absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely love it. I will put the information below if you're looking for one. Slightly bigger than, like, have you seen like a, what is that, like a 16-ounce can of soda pop? About that size. Had to use it a few times. I'm not really one for airing down my tires. Everybody says something a little different. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but I don't air down my tires much, even in crazy areas, and it works fine for me, seems to. But so I do carry this at all times. I have needed it and would have been lost without it. This little guy right here has saved my behind twice now. Traditionally once on the Mid-Atlantic BDR, I decided to leave my USB ports charging stuff all night long, my GPS port on all night long, because let's face it, I make some idiotic decisions. That is a little battery jump pack. Don't really have a reference point. I will use my lovely Liquid Death can. Not sponsored, but if anybody out there works at Liquid Death, or if you know anybody, let them know. Almost the same height. And so, I mean, it's a nice small item. Let me put that Liquid Death down. And I carry one of these in my camper van as well, because we boondock and do BLM and get crazy with it. But the connections, negative and positive, are just oversized. This is more one made for a motorcycle. Very small, easy to get in there, and you connect those to it. So on that day on the Mid-Atlantic BDR, it got me started, saved the day. And on day 2 for me here on the Chattahoochee BDR-X, I must have been outside LJ, hoping I'm getting this right, at Mulberry Base Camp. Really awesome little place. It had been running perfect for me, but I don't really know what happened. The bike just didn't want to start, so popped open the seat, jumped it, and we're good to go. From what I can tell and just testing, I get about 5 jumps out of it without recharging it, but they are phenomenal. Both the air pump and the battery charge pack, if you will, work pretty amazing. I have tested them pretty well. I will leave links down below on those, especially if you're looking for that kind of gear. EAFC did reach out to me and asked if I wanted to test them out, work with them, use them on my trips. I said sure. You know, I'm a small channel, so I have had a chance to unfortunately need both of those, and they work absolutely phenomenal. Could not recommend them enough. South Carolina bugs kicking in. Those kind of the electronics I carry for tools. I have just the rim protectors, my roll kits, which is really just all tools designed for this bike. And luckily, I don't have any wood to knock on, but these are the Motion Pro Bead Pros, the tool that everybody just loves, and they weigh nothing, and they're really strong for changing your tire, breaking your bead. I have not had to use. I'm a roughly 13,000 miles now, give or take a few miles here or there. About 8,000, maybe 9,000, probably around 8,000 of that is all off-road in pretty rugged situations. I've never had a flat. Yes, I know it is coming, but I'm really loving that it hasn't happened yet. And so the kit here, Wind Zone, I think I just picked up locally, and then kind of changed anything out for the size that the Himalayan uses. All packs up nice. And the one thing I just added, also from Motion Pro, see if I can get these guys back in there. Stupendous. Is this little guy. If you haven't seen this, it's pretty awesome. So a little under 2 years ago, I guess, when I started this channel and started adventure riding, I'd never touched a motorcycle before. Never owned one, never ridden one. I've just, until the very first video of this channel is the very first time I ever sat and rode a motorcycle. So I'm getting better now, but still not awesome at chain adjustments and those type of things. So when you're doing the chain adjustment, so here when you're done this Motion Pro piece, you simply put right on your bracket of your wheel, and you can make sure that the chain is straight, because the rim itself is. So you just make sure it's there, and you can do another twist or turn either way on the adjustments to make sure it's straight. I was just having a little bit of issue with that after realigning or adjusting my chain, hearing some clicks or some roughness in some points. But so that's maybe a me thing and not an everybody thing. That little Motion Pro piece I'll leave below. It's inexpensive, cheap. If you've been around motorcycles your whole life, you're probably laughing because you don't need one and think how easy that is. But for somebody newer to motorcycles, it is just a game changer for making sure that you're not misaligning that tire as you're tightening and adjusting the tension in your train. And let me try that again, in your chain. Here's what I can probably do better. When I bought this, the thought was the very first time I pop a tube, this is the Tusk Super Severe Duty Motorcycle Tube. It is extremely thick, probably impossible to pop. But I figured I'd put this on next. Now, like I said, 13,000 miles in, I haven't. So I need to kind of just keep this at home or in the van when I'm traveling. It's kind of monstrous. And just to get a standard tube that fits my tire, so I can go between each, just go with a, what is that, a 21 inch. So in emergency, I could use it on front and back and save a little bit of space. The other thing that I can do, and hopefully before the Northeast BDR I will, is just get a tool tube. There's plenty of room on the non-exhaust side underneath my pannier rack, just to put a little tube up in there so I can slide this in it, put the cap on, whatever. So it's just tools alone. Save some more space in my pannier, because I don't pack a lot, but it still is ridiculous that my tool set and my monster tube take up that much space. Hopefully I'll do those two things a little better very soon, and change that up. on that note, if you have put a tube roll, I'm just gonna call it that, a tool tube, whatever it is called, on your bike, that fits something like that, comment below. Where did you get it? I just got to start looking into that. Did you just grab something that was made for something else and put it on there? Or are there things made there with bolts that'll line up? Anyway, something I'm going to look into to get smaller. So this video has already been extremely long. I'm probably going to do a follow-up video here about my recording, how I do all my videos, what my electronic setup is on the bike, where my cameras are, those type of things for actually moto vlogging. If you have any questions, put it below. I'll try to put that together for you. And then the gear that I use on the BDRs. It's going to be kind of more of a budget to high budget. Let me say it again, more of a budget friendly riding gear. Try to get as good as I can, but it's budget friendly. I don't go crazy on anything. So kind of show you what I have for riding gear as well. But kind of a long one today. I appreciate you sticking around. Hit that little like button down there. It's somewhere around here. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to see about my BDR rides, let me know. They should already be out. I'm sure next week will be maybe the final one by the time this video gets out. But keep adventuring, guys. Whatever you enjoy doing, get out and do it. Live your adventure. Have a fantastic night. Be kind. And we'll see you on the next adventure.